That night, the video of the Wilson family spread rapidly throughout Oris Hill. This video was quickly posted on YouTube, but Charlie instructed YouTube to block the video. He still doesn't want this video. It exudes too strong influence, especially does not want this video to spread outside Oris Hill. As for the reason, he knew that Ragnar would definitely invest a sum of money in the Wilson family to support the Wilson group. If the Wilson family is now notorious all over the country, it is likely to affect Ragnar's decision. Charlie didn't want the Wilson family to cool off too early. It would be better if Ragnar invested in the Wilson family and then broke the Wilson family scandal so that not only the Wilson family's face could be hit, but Ragnar's face could be hit in addition to that. The Wilson family tossed all night, coupled with their infusion of drugs specifically for Daffodine. All 5 people became lethargic, not knowing that their scandal had spread in Oris Hill. The next morning, after the doctor checked Wilson's family, he confirmed that they were not in any serious condition and then let them go home. The first thing the old Mrs. Wilson did after she was discharged from the hospital was to call Ragnar and ask when he promised to invest in the Wilson Group's $80 million and when it will be honored. Although Ragnar was disgusted enough by this family, he believed that after unanimously outside, the family could explode more powerful energy in the direction of disgusting people, and then disgusted Charlie well, so he immediately benefited from his assistant. Directly inject $80 million into the Wilson Group. Thinking of this, Ragnar said again, "Well, I promised to support your Wilson family before. It just so happens that the real estate project I invested in Oris Hill is about to start. I will soon participate in the bidding of urban land. After the bidding is over, a large-scale project is needed. The decoration company, let this project be done by yours." When the old Mrs. Wilson heard this, her excited face flushed, and she hurriedly said, "Mr. Ragnar, please rest assured that the Wilson family was originally in the construction industry, and it is absolutely no problem to leave the decoration to us," Ragnar said coldly. "The reason for investing in you and giving you projects is to let you unite and deal with Charlie unanimously. So you must not give me any more moths, otherwise I will not only withdraw your investment, you will also be suspended and you will be kicked out of Thompson. I, Ragnar, can hold you up and step on you. Do you understand?" Mrs. Wilson was so excited that she nodded her head like garlic and said, "Don't worry, Mr. Ragnar, the Wilson family will definitely unite in the future. Moreover, the Wilson family will be your dog, Mr. Ragnar, as long as you say a word, Wilson. Don't dare not follow your family up and down," Ragnar said with satisfaction. "Remember what you told me just now and be a dog. I will not treat you badly." "Sure." After hanging up the phone, Mrs. Wilson immediately informed Noah and others about these 2 things. When Haraya heard that Ragnar made them unite, she felt even more proud. She knew that this was her own death-free gold medal. As long as Ragnar's words were there, Noah would never dare to divorce her. Looking at Haraya's triumphant expression, Noah felt even more uncomfortable. It is absolutely impossible for him to swallow this breath, but to let him really give up, Haraya will offend the Wu family. Give him 10,000 courage, he wouldn't dare to do that. Old Mrs. Wilson also saw that her eldest son was upset, so she again urged, "Noah, you have heard what Mr. Ragnar said. If you ruin the Wilson family and the Wilson group, don't blame me." Thinking of this, Noah said humiliatingly, "I know, Mom." However, although Noah was a little depressed about Haraya's affairs, the Wu family's willingness to invest in the Wilson family, to allow the Wilson-style group to be established again, and even willing to hand over the decoration of the new project to the Wilson family, still made him feel inexplicably excited. Not only him, but the entire Wilson family was very excited, because everyone knows that the Wilson family will finally look up this time. Harold smiled and said to Mrs. Wilson, "Grandma, now our Wilson family is going to develop, and Wu family will give money and projects again, making it clear that we are going to start praising us." While speaking, Harold secretly made plans in his heart. Once upon a time, Harold was also a well-known rich second generation. He lived every day with rich clothes and food, surrounded by countless people. But during this time, his life was like HL, and everyone who knew him in Oris Hill knew that he had now become a bereaved dog. Now it was finally time for his turnover. Wendy also looked forward to saying, "When our family develops, won't it be possible to make more money and live more extravagantly than before?" For such a long time, Wendy's life has been extremely miserable. Not only has her reputation been ruined, but her money has also been lost, and her life has been particularly poor. But now she can resume the extravagant and wasteful life of the past, which makes her extremely excited. Old Mrs. Wilson was even more excited. She knew that after the money arrived, it would not only solve all the debt crisis of the Wilson Group, but also allow the bank to return all the houses and antiques that were sealed up. Oh. The news of the resurgence of the Wilson Group's investment from the Wu family once again caused quite a stir in Orris Hill. Originally, based on the size of the Wilson-style group, it simply couldn't attract so much attention. But this time, it was the Wu family supporting the Wilson Group, so the Wilson Group received high attention all of a sudden. Although the Wu family is now deeply condemned by public opinion and suffered heavy losses, it is after all a large family of 100 billion. They support the Wilson Group. In the eyes of others, the Wilson Group has already become a phoenix.